Everyone talks about IVF being expensive, but no one really tells you what the actual cost is, even before getting pregnant. And I'm about to tell you how much IVF has cost us so far, and we're not even at the transfer yet. Hi, welcome back. Are you new here? Welcome. My name is Yanette, and I'm going through IVF at the moment. Something I didn't think we were gonna go through, but I wanted to make this video because I wish I had something like this to be able to watch while going through the IVF process and even before the IVF process. I feel like there is a lot of videos about, what it goes through, like how much it costs, but all the little things that come with it, it's hard to know. So we've actually gone through the egg retrieval process. We have our PGT testings back. And now we are preparing for the transfer. We just are not sure when that's happening yet. But yes, today I'm gonna break down how much all of this has cost us so far, from like paying the clinic, paying the medications. The procedure is probably included in that clinic's price. But yes, I'm gonna show you all of this. So like I said, we haven't gone through the transfer. So I don't know yet if we're gonna have to pay for medications for that. This is up so far until our retrieval. It is all up in the air. And I've heard that you need medications for the transfer after it's successful. I just don't know how much that's gonna cost us. So in this YouTube channel, I talk all about budgeting, lifestyle, content. I'm a therapist, hi. And yeah, if you'd like this type of content, please continue watching. I will be updating also decor, all of it. But in this video, we are talking about IVF cost so far. So get yourself some coffee, tea, any type of drink, and let's dive through this. How much it has cost us so far. And sorry if you hear some noise, they are working outside. I don't want to close my window because it's going to get very stuffy, and outside is very foggy, but it's actually warm. So I live in Southern California, and specifically in Orange County, and it has been very hot. Although today is going to be actually the warmest it's been. It's going to be 80, and then it's going to dip back down. So fun times. So okay, let's get started. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why we had to do IVF. And I think a lot of us understand why sometimes people have to do IVF, right? We tried for 2 years. It didn't happen. My OBGYN did all the testing she could. There was no medical reason why. And I don't think you ever really know when you go through IVF why you can't get pregnant normally. And I think that is something that needs to start changing, because we can't just be told, oh, you can't do IVF. Like, well, what is the reason behind it? So that's something that I think that medical field needs to really start noticing, science about why women, partners, everybody, because it's not just the woman's fault, right? It could be your partner too. Right? And when you do IVF, people assume, oh, what's wrong with the woman? Nothing's wrong. It just couldn't happen. It could have been the husband's fault. It could have been the partner's fault too, right? It could have been anybody. There's no one at fault. It's just something needs to happen, because we can't just continue getting told, just go try IVF. Okay, great. Who has all this money to do it though? IVF is very expensive. And if you're going through IVF, you're extremely lucky. It's expensive, it's draining. Not just that, it's mentally exhausting. So yes, I'm going to go through all of this, but I'm also going to talk about how mentally exhausting IVF is on yourself, on your body, just as partners. Like, it is a lot. So let's definitely talk about the cost. Okay, so we actually were looking for over a year where to go. And we live down in Orange County, California. And so we did see a few, not a lot, but a few other clinics. We had consultations with some clinics. We kept getting told, about $30,000. And we thought, okay, how do we pay for this? We knew it was going to be expensive. And I guess that number is still mind-boggling because honestly, how do you tell somebody it's $30,000 to pay for IVF, to have a baby, to have a family you've always dreamed of and wanted, right? Like, how do you tell that to somebody? So, yes, we kept getting told $30,000. My sister actually had a friend who went through IVF, and she went through this clinic in Orange County, and she was quoted a lot less than that. But the reason why was because the clinic has offices in Orange County, but everything is done down in Mexico. Like I said, they have offices here in Orange County, or just one office in Orange County. And then their main offices, clinics, everything are in Mexico. Specifically for us, there is a lot of different areas in Mexico, but the closest for us is TJ. So for that, we have, for the transfer or for the retrieval and transfer, we actually have to go to TJ for that, which is why it makes the price a lot cheaper. It would have actually been cheaper if I would have done everything down in TJ, but it was just going to be a lot. And I'm glad we didn't choose that option because I didn't, again, right? It's something that you don't know. You constantly have to keep going to the clinic through the injection process. So basically every other day you are at the clinic getting an ultrasound and getting blood work done. So I can't imagine having to do that drive 2 hours, coming back, having to wait in the line to cross back. I can't imagine how much that would have taken. So yes, taking that into account, we decided to do it here, which honestly was still pretty cheap. We were thinking of going through my husband's insurance because his insurance does pay some, but it only paid $10,000 each. So if I needed to get something done, mine was only $10,000. My husband was $10,000. And we had asked clinics, are you able to put it under him, but doing it for me? And they said, no, we couldn't. Some clinics that we said, okay, what if we try and do the insurance through you and just pay the rest out of pocket? And they said, yes, but it's going to be more expensive because you're going through insurance. I don't get that. Why? Like, if I'm able to pay it through my insurance, why would it be more expensive? So it was going to be the same thing paying out of pocket. We also didn't know if, we call the insurance. They're like, well, we don't know if we actually pay for the medications or not, the injections. You would have to, start the process and then we would see. So we would be in deep of this money and then being told, no, we don't cover this medication. So the clinic that we went with, my doctor actually tried to use the insurance to pay for our medications. And one of those injections was gonna be around, I'm gonna say $11,000 or $12,000. When I saw that, and then I was like, wow, that was just one injection, okay? So they needed a pre-authorization. My doctor's like, I'm sorry, we don't do those pre-authorizations here because technically we're all cash pay. That was with the clinic that we decided to go through. And we're like, well, that's fine. So that happened. That is why we decided to do a clinic outside of the US, because it was just going to be way too much money. And that is why many people are deciding to do that outside of the US. Unless your whole insurance, like Costco insurance, pays for your IVF procedures, you're going to be in so much debt, and then you have so much money you were able to save, and then you have $0, like happened with us. So yes, it is. IVF is a luxury, honestly, to have, and we're lucky enough that we had that money saved. It wasn't going to be for IVF. we were not even thinking we were going to have an issue being able to get pregnant. And I think you go in not even thinking you're going to have an issue, right? You're just like, okay, this month didn't happen. Last month didn't happen. Okay. Now by the 7th, 8th month, you're like, what is going on? And actually, OBGYNs won't even like do anything until you're like 9 to 10 months trying. Then they're like, okay, let's see, let's do some tests and see what's going on. But before that, they will not run tests unless your doctor is really good, maybe. But I've heard where doctors won't do it till like the 12th month, so a whole year of you trying. So that's a lot. But that's what happened with us. And I do have other health issues. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is an autoimmune, and I have stage 2 liver disease. So it was some things that were affecting me as well. So my doctor, I think it was around the 6th month, he said, okay, she's like, okay, let's run these tests because one, you are a lot more at risk to not be able to get pregnant because of these things that you do have. So let's just make sure. Everything came back perfect. So she's like, you know what, you need to start trying with IVF. So that's what we did. And then the process started, like I said, we decided to do this Mexico clinic, although they had a clinic here in Orange County. And the reason why I'm not saying the name is because I still haven't done the transfer. So I think once the transfer is done and it's successful, then I will say the clinic's name. So sorry about that, but I just want to make sure that everything is okay and that I'm not giving you all a name of a clinic that doesn't live up to what it's supposed to. Right now, as of right now, it's been great and we've loved it, but we still have a lot to go. So this clinic actually has 4 tiers. And just depending, they'll be like, okay, we recommend this tier. You decide though still. I think there was 4 tiers, and then there was like another package where you could get like 90% money back if it doesn't happen, like 50%, something like that, around there. So they had a guarantee if it didn't, you would get this much back from what you spent. But I'm assuming that's on medication still. So we went with the package where it includes 2 cycles and PGT testing. For us, that was $15,500 just for the IVF, just for the procedures and the PGT testing. That was it. It doesn't include medications. But I mean, that's half of what all the clinics that we saw were telling us. They were at $30,000 one cycle and medications weren't included, versus where we went, it was 2 cycles. Medications were not included, but that was 2 cycles of $15,500. Now, just the clinic cost, so I have everything here. So just the clinic cost was $10,440. So I'm assuming that's to pay probably the doctors, the clinic fees, the transfer, and the retrieval fees, I'm assuming. And then the PGT testing was $3,899, which adds up to the $15,500. So but the PGT testing only includes 4 embryos tested. So we did that, and we were like, okay. So then we knew, okay, medications we're gonna have to pay separately, obviously, with anything like that. So we were already in $15,500 just off the bat. So that was a hard pill to swallow. I mean, it was a lot less than 30,000, but that took a good chunk of our savings. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you know that this happens so naturally to other people, and not bashing anybody who, was able to. You're extremely lucky, but just to know that, like, for you to want to start a family, it's going to cost you $15,000 or $30,000. And this is just like, right, like, you don't know if it's just going to be right away you get pregnant. Like, wouldn't that be great? But there's no guarantees. Some people I've seen that they spent over $100,000 to try to get pregnant. I mean, right? It's hard. Everybody's in a different space in their life. And, I think I'm 32. So they're like, oh yeah, after like 35, 36, you kind of start to wander, right? But no, you're not told, hey, like even at whatever age, you could not have kids. Like it could be very hard. So yes. So the medicine, so we got some medicine from TJ and another one from here. So the medicine for TJ was $1,072. I mean, one medication for here was going to be like $17,000 or so. So, yeah. Medicine here was 1,657. Now, if you follow my channel and this disappoints you, I'm sorry, but this is the person that I am. Okay? So, I do not support what's going on in this country, at least. And when she told us this, I was like, okay, do we have an option? And she's like, no, that's like the only option right now. If not, it's going to be very expensive. So we went through TrumRx. Apparently, he has created this pharmacy, or I don't even know what it's called, honestly, where IVF medications are cheaper. So that is why our medications were pretty cheap. They were 1,657. So whether that's great or not, right? People are gonna take their choice, and that was our choice. We had to do that in order for it to be cheaper for us. So one great thing that came of that was the IVF part that he did do. So if that's something that you're going through, ask your doctor, can we get it through that? Because it's gonna be a lot cheaper. So it's a hard pill to swallow, but that's what it is. Okay, and then just extra medications that we had to get, because I needed a few before my retrieval happened, was $21, so it wasn't that bad. So the grand total before transfer, again, I do not know how much, like if I'm going to need medications before the transfer. I actually have an appointment with my doctor this coming Tuesday to talk about all of that. So yeah, but I don't know that one yet. So as of now, it is $17,089. It is still a fraction of what the $30,000 were. I'm assuming we would have been spending like $40,000 to $45,000. $17,000 is a hard pill to swallow. I could have done so much with that money. Could have gone on trips, but that's what it is. That's the reality of right now with IVF. So, like I said, as of now, $17,000 we've spent. Like I said, the package only comes with 4 PGT testing. So if you have more embryos, you have to pay out of pocket for those. And those would have been, I think they say $980. So each embryo. So basically, we got our results and they were able to retrieve 24. Of those 24, I believe 17 matured. Those 17, 11 made it through the blast. So we had 11 embryos. We were only able to test 4. We were not going to spend, let me see, 980, almost 7,000 extra dollars. Like we couldn't justify that price. So, we were like, okay, let's do this. Let's just do these 4 embryos. If something happens, then we'll come up with that extra money. Like we would pay for the other embryos. But $7,000 extra. That would have brought us what, to like $24,000? Yeah, $24,000. So yeah, no, we were said no. There is risks to doing that, to saying no to those embryos. But at the moment, we were like, we have to take that risk. I will make a whole video of this, but I think, no, I won't. Yeah, well, actually, I will make a whole video of this. I won't mention how many made it from the PGT testing. Stay tuned for that one. But yeah, that is how much it was. We have spent 17,000 so far, and will I do it again? Probably. Like I said, everyone has a different journey, and I think me and my husband and I have talked, and we're like, we will do, if we need to, the 2 cycles, and we'll go from there, and then we decide if something doesn't happen, we'll decide what we do next. But as of now, this has been our IVF journey. I did post, how my retrieval went and all of that in another video, and I'll link that, down below. But yeah, this is how much it has been so far. And, there is people out there who have told you, right, like the price and everything, but also it's nice to know the little things, right? Like if you have to take time off work, that's another expense. Having to go to, TJ Mexico, like that's another expense. So having to take time off. I was lucky enough that I didn't have to take time off from my full-time job. I was able to go in the mornings to the clinic before I even started work and then head to work. So I didn't have to take time off. But for my retrieval, I had to so I also have a part-time like private practice business. So I had to cancel a few clients because my procedure was on Friday. You don't get to pick and choose when your retrieval is. It is your body chooses. And my body said Friday it is, you have to be there on Friday. And I had to cancel a few sessions. For a private practice, you don't get that money back. I can't use sick time. I can't use vacation time. So yeah, I did lose some income because of that too. So yes, there is so much other things that you're losing and paying for that doesn't come into account either. So something to also think about. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have for today. I will, I'll make an updated one of how much more we have to spend. But if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm glad to answer any questions. I will not let you all know what the name of the clinic is until it's all over, because I want honestly to give you a clinic name that I know was successful, I felt lucky enough to be there, like everything. So I will not give you the name yet, but I will give it eventually. But yeah, like I said, please comment down below. What are some of your questions? If you've gone through IVF, what is your experience going through IVF? It is so much different for everybody as well. So I want to hear all of your stories. I want to hear all of your success stories as well. I want to also hear, the struggles that you went through, because those are struggles that makes us successful too. So I want to hear everything. So please comment down below all of it. But if you like this type of content, please continue liking and subscribing. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.